Alright, in this video we're going to put all of those skills together. This one's called Putting It All Together. It's skill set F, and basically we're going to take all of the little steps that we've learned along the way and use them to solve a pretty complex equation. But when you take it step by step, it's really not that bad. Okay, so before we do that, I'm going to give you a couple of reminders when you're solving equations that are helpful. And the first one is to remember that the goal of all of this is to eventually get the variable by itself, or to isolate the variable. So if your variable is x, you want to end up with x is equal to something. That's how you know you're done. You want to find out what x is. Okay, and then the second thing to remember is that whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side of the equation to keep things balanced. So if this is our equation, we want to remember that the equal sign is like our balancing point. So whatever we do to the left side of the equal sign, we have to do to the right sign to keep it balanced. So let's go ahead and solve this equation on your reference guide. Find it on your reference guide. And my advice is that the first time I solve this, that you just watch and listen, and then you can pause it and write it down in your notes. It's pretty hard to watch and listen carefully and also write, and the video isn't very long, so I would do I just watch and listen the first time, then pause it, and then write that down in your notes. All right? So the first thing I'm going to do is extend my equal sign so I have that nice balancing point throughout this process. Step number one is to use the distributive property. Again, just like in order of operations it says deal with the parentheses first, that's what you need to do with equations as well. All right? So I like to draw in my little swoop marks so that I remember to multiply this by both this part and this part. And then I'm going to rewrite that part of the equation. So I have negative 8 times 6 would give me a negative 48. And then I have negative 8 times a positive 5x. That would be a negative 40x. So since it's negative, I write in subtraction. Okay? And then on the left side, there's no parentheses, so I'm just going to write that, that side down. 10x minus 5 minus 7x equals what we got on the right. Okay? Step number two is to combine like terms. So I look on the left side of the equation and I notice that I have a 10x and a negative 7x. Those two things can be combined. They have the same variable. So 10x minus 7x, pay attention to the sign in front of the number, would give me a 3x. And then I have this minus 5 is equal to, and I look on the right side to see if I can combine anything. It's a negative 48 and then a minus 40x. There's nothing to combine there, so I just rewrite that part. Okay. Step 3 is to move all the variable terms to one side. So I have x on the left, 3x, and I have a negative 40x on the right, and I need to move those to one side. And my rule of thumb is that I like to move the variable that is the smallest. So over here I have a positive 3, over here I have a negative 40. Negative 40 is much smaller than 3, so that's the one that I'm going to move. You could move either one. Since this is a minus 40x, to move that, I'm going to add 40x to this side. But then I need to add 40x to this side as well to keep things balanced. Okay? So now the negative 40x and the positive 40x cancel out, which is what we wanted, and we are left with just a negative 48. And then on this side, 3 plus 40x would give me 43x, and then I have my minus 5 is equal to negative 48. Now we're down to a two-step equation, so it's looking much better. So for step number 4, I'm going to undo the addition or subtraction on the variable side. Remember, we're trying to get x by itself, and we work out in to the x. So to undo that minus 5, I'm going to add 5, and then I have to add 5 to this side as well. The minus 5 and the positive 5 plus 5 cancel out, and then I have negative 48 plus 5 would give me a negative 43. And on this side, I'm left with 43x. So that equals negative 43. And then finally, let's go with this screen. Step number 5 is to, that didn't work. Step number 5 is to undo the multiplication or division on the variable side. So to get x by itself, it's 43 times x. So I would need to divide by 43. I do it to the left side. I also have to do it to the right side. And I am left with x, those cancel out, is equal to negative 43 divided by a positive 43 would give me a negative 1. So my answer is x is equal to negative 1. Now remember, you can take this negative 1, plug it in to all the x's in the equation, do the multiplication, subtraction, all of that. Make sure the left side is equal to the right side. You can do that on a calculator, and you'll see that it works in the equation. So now go ahead and pause the video if you need to, and write down all of the notes, and then you are ready to practice this with skill set F.